First up on AGetc, we have the chance to tag along at one of this year's Seed to STEM workshops administered by Kansas Corn and several lead teachers from across the state. See what changes have been implemented this year and hear from organizers, lead teachers, and participants about this amazing event. Then we end with another great event for teachers, the Summer Soybean Science Institute at Kansas State University with special guest Ryan McCormack. Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
So the Kansas Corn Commissioners decided several years ago that they wanted to invest in K through 12 education. They know that there is a need for more individuals joining the workforce, focusing on science, and we need them in the ag industry. And so the biggest kind of goal of Seed to STEM is, one, to provide teachers the opportunity to learn about one, our ethanol industry, also biotechnology, specifically focusing on GMOs, and then also a little bit about our corn production in the state. And so with that knowledge, those teachers can then share that and teach that to their students. And so the commissioners felt it was very important to invest in programs that invested in teachers so that they had the resources to be able to teach those students. But secondly, we're supporting those teachers by providing the free supplies so that they are equipped with the equipment to give those students a hands-on experience so they are prepared to enter the workforce, but also so they have a clear understanding of how ethanol is produced and what happens in the process of genetic modification. So those key messages that we want students to know about, the commissioners know that the best way for them to learn that is through the teachers they get to see every day. It's been really exciting because this is the third year of the Seed to STEM program, and this will end up being a total of 170 teachers graduated from Seed to STEM. So it's exciting because now we have that many teachers out there that are hopefully using our labs. And if you kind of do the math, if each of those teachers at a minimum taught 30 students, you're looking at close to 5,000 students a year that's being impacted. And a lot of these teachers are coming from larger schools that are teaching closer to 100 students. So the total impact is pretty substantial. The last 2 years when we had Seed to STEM, we found that there was teachers interested in our lab, middle school and high school level. The big change that happened this last year is we prepared 2 tracks. So today we have 20 teachers in a middle school track and then 20 teachers in a high school track. So there is a demand to attend Seed to STEM, and we understand that there's a lot of teachers out there that were unable to attend the last few years. And so on our Kansas Corn website currently houses all of the labs, and we are creating teacher tip videos and additional resources that will help teachers as they walk through or read through those labs to be able to know how they can implement in their classroom and use those teacher tips and those videos to kind of aid them in being successful at teaching those labs even though they aren't here. The other great thing about our labs is we're providing all the PowerPoint presentations for the teachers so they don't have to go and create those from scratch. We're providing as much as we can to teachers that want to teach it regardless if they're here.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well on their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we'll be glad to answer it and work with you.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Wheat. Learn more at rediscoverwheat.org.
Is that a few years ago we had brand new science standards that came out, and they're the next generation science standards. And one of the big components of that is sustainability. And so we had to find a way to basically incorporate sustainability into what we were doing. And so the Seed to STEM program makes that easy, right? They're not telling us you have to do brand new labs. They're trying to help us find ways to incorporate what the ag side of it into what we're already doing. And so with sustainability, helping to sustain the food supply for the next 50 years with a growing population is a big thing. And so GMOs, Explore Corn, there's different aspects of what's being done at this workshop that actually helps us meet those standards that we got just a few years ago.
Yeah, and as a suburban school, we're actually kind of surrounded by a lot of cornfields, soybeans, and our students really don't know very much about it. So it's a great way to talk about what's actually happening around them for the students, while also teaching them new material and, like you said, talking about sustainability and what's actually going to impact these students over time. I think one of the skills they learn is, well, how can I teach ag in the class? Unless you're an ag teacher, you have no formal training in this. And so this is kind of an area that a lot of people are scared to teach as a teacher. So they come away with maybe just it's about corn, but then their knowledge level about normal crops and the process that goes through that, they can actually take that into the classroom and go, okay, now I can talk about all these other areas, but my basis is in corn. And I can sit there and tell how it goes from being a seed all the way up to a fully producing corn stalk and the ear of corn.
And I think another big thing is that a lot of times we're biology teachers or we're chemistry teachers, right? And so by doing all the labs here at Seed to STEM, we're able to see the connections between biology, chemistry, earth science when it comes to corn. So we go back to our classrooms knowing the connections between all those.
I would say there's been a lot that's changed over the years. Specifically this year, the biggest change is we have a high school and a middle school track, and allowing us to teach to the specific teacher that what they can do at their level versus the other levels. So there were times in the past that you would have a middle school teacher that was doing something that they would never do in their class, and they were getting it as part of their kit that was provided by Kansas Corn, and they would be like, I'm never going to use this, and it just would sit, and it was wasteful. So by maximizing the time and setting the two tracks, these teachers are coming away with a lot more that they can use in there. The other big change that I've noticed is that now the teachers are actually getting hands-on every lab. They're getting walked through by people who wrote the labs, and so they're getting more exposure and better teaching than what we saw in the past.
For the first time this year, this whole workshop is being led by teachers. And so we're able to show the teachers that come to the workshop how we've used it in our own classrooms. And so I think that's huge. Like, hey, here's the lab, but here's how I did in my classroom. I give them little tips because we've been in the trenches, we've actually done the labs. So we're able to kind of show the teachers how to do that.
I think one of the really cool aspects of this whole process is, as a teacher, I don't feel like I have to preach Kansas Corn. I want to, because they've been awesome to us as teachers. And this is our third year, not because we're getting paid, but because they've been awesome to us with helping us in the classroom. Never met an organization that's come out and said, hey, what do you need for your classroom? What can we do to help? And that's been a big thing for us.
Yeah, they truly believe in education. So it's not about pushing corn necessarily, it's about getting ag into the classroom. And so they fully support the teachers. However the teachers want to use those labs in their classroom, they're there to support them.
We do business with Blueville because of the quality of their work. It is excellent quality, and because they make a commitment to their customers.
We enjoy the benefits of hiring a good company to help us maintain this home.
We will always do business with Blueville. We have for many, many years, and there's no reason for us to look for any other service.
KFRM is one of the largest farm radio stations in the nation, dedicated to informing and entertaining rural listeners from northern Oklahoma to southwestern Nebraska. You can catch KFRM in many ways. Of course, 550 on the AM dial, streaming at kfrm.com, or on your smartphone by going to the TuneIn Radio app, or on Ag AM in Kansas on Tuesdays and Facebook every day of the week. KFRM, tune us in. You'll be glad you did.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
This segment brought to you by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
The very first year, the program was facilitated by a couple of teachers from another state, and I've worked with those teachers, and then the second year, they brought in lead teachers, which would be myself and a couple of others, and we kind of helped shape things into be a little bit more Kansas flair, and we helped also facilitate the workshops. This year there were a lot of differences. We have more lead teachers. Everything is in-state, handled by our wonderful Kansas corn representatives and everything that they do for us. And it has allowed us to restructure the curriculum, make it all based on Kansas. It's all connected to the standards, which is fantastic. We even have career emphasis on our lessons. We have assessments. Everything's hands-on. And the most important part is we've been able through the years to increase the number of teachers that we have reached every single year. The very first year, there was about 36 teachers that attended the workshop in one location. The second year, we expanded to 2, and each one had about 36 participants. And this third year, we've expanded to 2 locations still, but we have 2 tracks. We have a middle school track and a high school track, and there are 20 participants at each location in each track. So we've expanded to a total of 80 teachers overall. So we're spreading the word as far as we can and hoping that we can go from there. We also have outreach events and so many other wonderful things that Kansas Corn helps provide for us.
My role is a lead teacher, so I'm basically taking the time to show other teachers kind of some labs and how we maybe integrate it into our classrooms, and try to give them some ideas or some tips and how to try to incorporate some of these ideas into their classrooms and how they can utilize it, whether it's biology or chemistry and so on.
My role was to incorporate some labs that bring science and agriculture together. My labs that I produced were nutrient testing with between corn mash and corn slurry, and then micropipetting.
I was working on the corn mash and distillation, and still working on that one. Fermenting fuel, where we test different enzymes and yeast in developing ethanol, and then also decoding DNA.
Our biggest thing would be just knowing that agriculture is out there, and that you can incorporate that into your classroom pretty easily. giving the kids an idea of what agriculture is. It's not just, a guy standing in a farm anymore. There's more science in farming than there is that I could ever teach in my classroom. So just giving them those labs that they can incorporate in and bring back to their classroom to help kids understand what agriculture is and how it produces stuff for us.
I think it's really important that teachers support each other. A lot of us, as we go through the career, we find those one or two teachers that can be our mentors. But being able to impact more than just one or two people in your building and really spreading your gifts and your content knowledge to other people is really an important part of our profession. We give to students every day, and as teachers, sometimes we don't get a lot back. And so it's important that we give to our colleagues as well.
Just helping teachers see that there's help out there, there's people that care about what's happening in schools and want to provide any benefits they can. And I know that when I started, 2 years ago, Kansas Corn and Seed to STEM, this whole process has been great for me. I've been able to incorporate some things in the classroom that I probably wouldn't have been able to without them. So I really want other teachers to see that, there's people here that want to help them and that are willing to do so.
It's just a good feeling, knowing that I can help teachers understand a little bit about what agriculture is. Seed to STEM program has given me a lot of training myself, and what I was able to take back to my classroom, now I'm able to help teachers do the same thing for their classrooms.
It's been a lot of fun, and need to go to a Seed to STEM workshop. So.
Summer is busy at Tarwater Farm and Home. We have just about everything you'll need for your summer projects, and we're consistently competitively priced. Tarwaters can help make your grass and garden grow, and we have a huge variety of equipment to cut it. If you have a farm, Tarwaters has the products and equipment to keep it going strong. And our expanded parking lot will make it even more convenient to shop. So come see us at Tarwater Farm and Home in Topeka.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
One thing I'd like to share with essentially the corn producers in the state is we get to see at these workshops and at various times throughout the school year the impact that the Kansas Corn Commission is having, not only on these teachers but on education as a whole. They appreciate the fact that we've created labs that expose them to our industry and connects them to the things they have to teach in the classroom, but just the fact that we are providing those supplies and additional support throughout the school year creates that lasting relationship that really elevates that excitement that they have for teaching, but also the appreciation that they have for Kansas agriculture. So it's exciting to see that excitement, and hopefully your local schools will have teachers that will join us in future years.
Today we've learned a lot of different things, and it's been very enlightening. I grew up on a farm, so I thought I knew a lot about corn, but I had no idea exactly how much corn was raised in the state of Kansas and how closely it was planted, and just a lot of the details of growing corn and soil temperature and moisture, and how, obviously I know moisture is important, but the soil temperature kind of was my aha.
I am really grateful to the Kansas Corn Commission for doing something like this. I run a STEM Connection program at my school, so it serves the female population, grades 6th through 8th. As somebody who's not from Kansas and coming in, I mean, I knew there was a lot of agriculture and that corn was a big deal and things like that, but I had no idea of the immensity of it. And I'm still a little like flabbergasted how much that I thought I kind of knew about corn, but that I had no idea.
Well, I teach biology. And so obviously I'm going to incorporate the farming aspect into my biology classes and how agriculture plays such a vital role, not just in our food chain, but in our economy. And I think someone mentioned earlier that 45% of the economy of Kansas is somehow related to farming. And that is really fascinating. But I also teach an alternative energy class, and so I'm really excited to look at the ethanol plant that we're going to see tomorrow and see how that works. I mean, you can read about it, but seeing it's a whole different thing.
It's incredibly valuable because everything is applicable to what you would take back to your classroom. So this year they even went as far as splitting it into a high school and a middle school branch. So you don't really find yourself sitting there and being like, oh, this is really awesome, but I'll never use it because I teach 6th grade versus seniors. So they've done everything to kind of make it as usable as possible for the teachers.
Well, tomorrow we're going to look at the results of our fermentation, and we're going to go through the distillation process to actually pull off that ethanol, but we're going to visit the ethanol plant, and I'm excited about that.
Honestly, I'm really excited for the materials that they're giving us. So everything, that's a big struggle as a teacher. You go to a PD and they show you something really awesome and you feel your heart like, yeah, and I can't wait to go back and use this. And then you get back and you find out like, oh, that one lab cost $200, or that one instrument was really key in doing this and I don't have it. And so anything that they've showed us, they've done their best to give us at least one copy of that piece, whatever it is, the binders, everything. They've really truly made it as easy as possible to go back and just use it with your students and get them excited about agriculture and corn in Kansas.
I'd just like to thank the Kansas Corn Commission for this opportunity. It's been amazing. So I'm excited for my kids to learn from this as well.
The new Better Horses Network is worldwide, presented by Lucas Oil, featuring worldwide radio and TV with iconic hosts like Al Dunning, Sharon Camarillo, Ernie Rodina, Lindy Birch, and Craig Cameron. With American Cowboy, Horse and Rider, Brushy Creek, Cavenders, and Ride TV. Worldwide radio and TV, the all-new Better Horses Network.
I dug trees by hand for years and years and years. In the process, I wore out my rotator cuff. But when I learned about this process, I thought if there's a way to get rid of this pain, then I wanted to do it. So we did it, and it worked. I'm not going to go out and dig trees with a shovel anymore, but I can do the things that I want to do now.
Hi, I'm Kim Mandarin with Hardy Insurance. I'm here to help you with all of your farm and ranch needs. When it comes to protecting your operation and your family, you need a name you can trust at a price you can afford. Call me today or visit hardyaviationins.com.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Honestly, the soybean picked me.
What is that right there?
Well, what we really teach in the Institute is this inquiry piece, which is, okay, I'm going to give you something to look at, but from that, what are you curious about? Realizing that science is curiosity-driven, evidence-based, we really take them through the science and engineering practices to help them really understand what a scientist does.
It's crazy right there.
Get in here.
But look at how cool it is.
Look at it.
Oh, it's hairy.
And what was really interesting is that, you know, a model system like soybean, when you bring that into a classroom, really allows the teacher to use it across everything they teach.
This program has really opened me up to new ways of thinking. For an old teacher out there, I'm learning new tricks, and I am excited to get into my room and see where I can take this and what my students will obtain from it.
You see right there?
Making informed decisions come from critical thinking, and if we can get that established early on from kindergarten on, watch out. Kansas is going to be leading. It's amazing to see we put a little bit of inquiry behind it where we can go.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.